Hey there, I'm Chef D Malfi and welcome to Plant-Based Made Easy. Happy Friday to you. Today I'm going to show you how to make a sweet, delicious, and nutritious dessert. This is the end of our week. We've gone through 5 recipes this week from my new Plant-Based Made Easy cookbook. This is the October edition. And today we're making flourless zucchini brownies. These are gluten-free, oil-free, sugar-free, and they're darn delicious. So let's get right into it. The first thing that I want to do is actually make a vegan egg. A plant-based or vegan egg is sometimes the obstacle for most people when it comes to vegan or plant-based baking, but it doesn't have to be. It's really super simple. So let me show you how. I want to take 1 tablespoon of the flaxseed meal here and 2 tablespoons of filtered water. I got a question about this the other day. Do you always use filtered water? And when you say filtered water, are you talking about bottled water? No, I'm actually just talking about tap water that I filter through a filtration system. I use an amazing pitcher system, and I can actually put it in my Amazon influencer shop. So I'll do that right after this. And it is actually a coconut shell filter. It's really, really cool. It doesn't make anything taste like coconut. It's not weird at all. It's basically just like a Brita, but a little bit better at filtering all of the impurities out of the water. So 2 tablespoons of water to 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed. Now, if you're unfamiliar with flaxseed meal, all it is flaxseed that's been ground up. You can do this in a food processor, you can do this in a blender, or you can buy it pre-ground. And when you do buy it pre-ground, it's called flaxseed meal. And I really like this stuff. This comes from Bob's Red Mill. It's really good. And I keep it in the freezer because I don't want it to spoil. It has a lot of the good fats, and so it will spoil quickly, especially in a hot atmosphere like a hot kitchen. So make sure to keep it in the refrigerator or the freezer. And this is just going to sit for about 5 minutes. I'm just going to put it aside, and in 5 minutes, I'll come back, and it's going to be very jelly-like, kind of like egg white. It's going to be very similar to that. All right, so the next thing that I need, of course, is zucchini. These are flourless zucchini brownies. I love zucchini in baked goods. I think that it makes it like so delicious. Every single time, I'm always afraid that it's going to be too green, too zucchini like flavor. It's never like that. I don't know what the magic of zucchini is, but it works. It's really good. All right, so I wanted to show you that I'm going to use a baby zucchini and a whole huge giant zucchini, but I store them in my stasher bags. If you're unfamiliar with these, I just wanted to call your attention to them. These are BPA-free silicone stasher storage and cooking bags. So you can store produce in them, you can store pantry goods in them, and you can cook in them, meaning you can actually pop this in a boiling water pot and you can sous vide. You can put it in the microwave and burp it, like have a little tiny opening, maybe with a vegetable in it, some olive oil, some herbs, and put it in the microwave. And in 30 seconds, you have steamed, perfectly cooked vegetables. So I really love these stasher bags. These are definitely on my Amazon shop. So check it out. All right, so I have some zucchini here. I wanted to show you that you can actually get regular zucchini or you can use the baby zucchini. I absolutely adore the baby zucchini. These are so yummy. You can eat the entire thing, the top and the bottom, everything, the skin. And I'm going to use both. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it inside of a food processor and grate it right in my food processor. So I have that right here. This is a bit challenging right now because I want to just turn the camera. All right, cool. So you can see the bottom of the food processor. You just turn it on, and I have a grate in there. So the grate is spinning, and now I'm just gonna open up the top here. Uh-oh, something fell. It's okay, I'll get it later. Pop in my zucchini, and then this pusher pushes it down. Now for this, I need to just slice this because this large piece of zucchini is maybe too large. There we go. Open up the pusher. Now you're going for 1.5 cups of zucchini. That's what you want. Perfect. Stop that. Now, really important for the rest of the recipe, in order to make this recipe delicious and brownie-like, you really have to squeeze out the water. So zucchini has a ton of water content, and we need to squeeze it out. Those bits are going to go in my compost, but everything else I'm going to scoop into a bowl that's lined with a really thin dish towel. So I have that here, and I am going to squeeze the water out right now because what it's going to do is it's going to make this brownie delicious and brownie-like and less watery. If you skip this step, you might end up getting a brownie that is more like zucchini, tastes more like zucchini, and isn't all that brownie-like. And the trick is that you want this to be kind of hidden. You don't even want to know that there's zucchini in the brownies. This is like perfectly 1.5 cups. It's great. hands. Okay. Now use a thin dish towel. You can use a nut milk bag too. Just kind of get everything and then wring it out. You'll be surprised how much water comes out of this. Look at all that. It's a lot of water. Zucchini is like 70% water. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Natalie. Good to see you. Happy Friday. Just get as much of the water out as you can. Hi, Diane. Good to see you. All right, popping this aside. Look how much water I got. That's a lot. Put that aside. You don't need that. That goes into your smoothie or your soup or into the compost. The worms will like it. All right, so now, big bowl. This is our mixing bowl for our brownies. The rest comes together in a snap. Grab the zucchini mixture. It's going to be like a dry ball of zucchini. Throw it in your bowl. Collect this. I like to rinse my towel now before it goes into the washing machine, or else I get zucchini pieces all over the washing machine. It's never happened to me, but I always imagine that that's what's going to happen, so I make sure to rinse my towel really well. Right now, it's going in the storage bag. All right, so I've got my dry ball. This looks really dry. It looks great. It's exactly what I want, yeah? All right, so I need some almond butter. Remember, this recipe is sugar-free and it's oil-free. We're going to use a little nut butter as the base here, and so I'm just going to take 1 cup of almond butter, and I'll show you which kind that I use. You can use any nut butter. Just make sure that it's creamy, and you want 1 full cup. I suppose you could use crunchy too, but I think it works way better when it's creamy. This is kind of like the oil substitute. Yeah. Let's do a quick question. Yeah, nut bags will work, Cindy. If you want, you can actually squeeze your zucchini out in a nut bag, in a nut milk bag. And I showed one the other day. You know, that's the fine mesh bag that you can actually squeeze all of your beautiful nut milk out into. I'll use the Almond Cow, though, the machine. I'll show you, just in case you're unfamiliar or anybody else is. This is a nut milk bag. This will work really, really great for squeezing out that zucchini. Cool. All right, so I've got my almond butter in. Now I need a little maple syrup. I've got some fun and festive maple syrup. This is organic Vermont maple syrup. This is bourbon barrel aged. Trader Joe's, y'all. This is a new product. I really, really like it. It's a little alcohol-y for me, just on top of oatmeal and yogurt and stuff like that. So, but baking is really, it's wonderful in baked goods. Baking is a wonderful way to use it. You use 1/3 of a cup. That goes right in. And then 1/3 of a cup of organic cacao. This is unsweetened cacao. You can use any cocoa powder. Make sure that it's not hot cocoa powder, though. It should say cacao or cocoa on it, but it needs to be unsweetened. And I want 1/3 of a cup as well of this. Meanwhile, right now, you should definitely have your oven preheated or preheating to 350 degrees. If you can do that, get yourself ready. Mine is preheated. Looks good. All right, a little vanilla. Never hurts. I'm using alcohol-free, but you can use anything. About a teaspoon. And then some baking soda. If you want, you could use a little sea salt, but I don't even need sea salt in mine. I really, truly am making this sugar-free, oil-free, dairy-free, salt-free. Yum. And then the last thing that I might add are any kind of like extras. I might use some chocolate chips. These are unsweetened cacao chips. I love these. These are really yummy. They're super chocolatey. They're totally unsweetened, so they're for baking. You could use up to a cup of any of these add-ins. So I might use these, and I might use some walnut pieces because I really like walnut brownies. Perfect. I love these. These are like little tiny flakes of unsweetened goodness. They're really chocolatey. Great. And then some walnuts. I like to store my walnuts in a glass jar like this. Half cup, quarter cup, whatever you want. Just make sure it's just about 1 cup of the add-ins. Okay, now we can't forget the vegan egg, super important. Now take a look at it. It's super eggy-like. Do you see that? That's eggy-like. Throw it in. And that's it. Give this a good mix. I don't even like chop my walnuts. I just like pop them in whole. I love walnuts in chocolate brownies. It's like my favorite. Some people really despise walnuts in anything. If you just want all chocolate chips because you don't like walnuts, that's A-okay. Make it your own. Make it however you want. I need to switch to a small spoon here. And this just is going to come together really quickly. It's going to bake inside of some sort of 8x8 square baking dish. You could actually bake these as brownie bites too if you wanted to. That would be totally fine. And you would do that in like a little muffin tin. You want to line them. I really like the silicone muffin tins. You can find those on my Amazon shop. If you want, you could use paper. Those are great too. I'm just really more into the sustainable like kitchen stuff, equipment and tools and things like that right now. So I'm trying my best to not use any of the single use like Ziploc bags or muffin tins or what else? Storage containers, like no single use for me. Yeah, let's do a question. Right, this says, Penny asks, a great recipe. I bought plant-based brownie and chocolate cake. I thought the plant-based brownie and chocolate cake was made from beets. It can be. Great comment, Penny. It can be plant-based brownies and vegan brownies and baking for that matter. There's like a million ways to do these things. That's why I love this type of eating, is that there's lots of different opportunities to make it your own using lots of different plants, nuts, seeds, and things like that. Whereas regular standard American diet and baking with regular butter and milk and all of that, there's really only one way to do something. You can like change up the ingredients, like the sweeteners and things like that, and the additives. But with this, you can actually replace the zucchini with beets. You can actually do a whole lots of different things with brownies and vegan baking, and it really depends on the recipe. So every recipe is completely different. Thank you for adding that. All right, so I have my baking dish here, 8x8. I want to just line it with a piece of parchment paper. This makes coming out of the oven a lot easier. And I'm just going to pop it into right on top of the paper. And then I will make sure that it gets like kind of smoothed out before it goes into the oven.
Could you use a silk pad?
You can't really use a sill pad. No, that's a great question. A sill pad is not going to like go around the corners in the same way. So a sill pad is that baking mat, and it's not really that pliable. And so you really want to use a piece of parchment paper for this. And you can see I'm using the brown parchment paper. I do whatever I can to make it like the best choice for my body, my family, and planet Earth. This is unbleached, unprocessed. I believe it's recyclable paper that they use to make it. It's really good stuff, and you can get this kind of anywhere now, even standard supermarkets in the baking section. All right, and I'm just mixing this and like making sure that it's a nice, thin, even layer of the brownie. I want it all the way to the corners. Yeah, here's a little coast to coast, a big coast to coast. Okay, perfect. That's great. It's going to go right into the oven, 350 degrees. It's going to probably take anywhere between 18 and 25 minutes. That's a big range, and I know that that's a big range, but it really depends on your oven. I'm using a toaster oven, so it really is going to change it up. I don't know for sure every single temperature of every single oven, so it's anywhere between that range. You just want to test it. Test it at 18 minutes. Put a paring knife right in. It comes out and it's totally clean, that knife, then your brownie is good to go. And of course, I made one ahead of time because I didn't want you to wait. I want you to see it, and I want to get into it with you. This is hot now. So I have the brownie here. I have it on a baking sheet just so I could transport it, but I did bake it in that white baking dish, that 8x8. And now look how delicious this looks. Looks just like regular chocolate brownie. Cannot tell a difference because there's really no difference. The only thing that is different about this is this is definitely more nutrient dense. It's going to have all of the wonderful things in it that are going to make us feel really great when we eat this brownie, and not like tired and cranky and moody, right? Sometimes sugar can do that, and dairy certainly can do that. These are fantastic. I'm telling you, you won't be able to tell that it's not a chocolate brownie. Now let's do a comment. Cheryl says, before going plant-based, I would never think that I could use my vegetables for making great desserts. Now, I know, Cheryl, your mind has been changed by that. Zucchini especially, it's one of these magical vegetables that you really can use in lots of different ways with baking. All right, so I'm just going to slice into this. Let me grab a plate first so I'm not struggling. I'll do a little square plate. I have lots of different plate options now, and it's really fun to choose the one. All right, I'm going for it. I always try to look to see, okay, how big do I want this? I think I want it kind of like bakery size. You know, that like big brownie bakery size? Yummy. Yummy. And it doesn't stick to the paper all that much. You can see it kind of like scoots away from the paper rather easily. Yum. Brownie for you and brownie for me. This looks amazing. Just take a second with me, will ya? You can see how moist it is. There's no frosting or anything on it. Just the brownie as is. I want to show you in the camera. Look at this. I wish it would like focus, but it's not going to. Delicious. You can't really even see the zucchini. I can see the walnut bits. My goodness. Should I give it a taste? I think so. All right. Before I do, I want to just give this food a little gratitude. Thank you. We're so thankful. Yum. Moment of truth. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable. Every single time I do something like this, like, you guys, I'm new to plant-based, yeah? If you haven't heard my story yet, I just went plant-based like truly 6 months ago. I'm so grateful for this food. Every single time I eat it, I'm like, how could this be oil-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, and darn delicious? It is. It's because of the magic of the food, because the food works and harmony. Everything works together. You cannot tell there is not milk and butter and oil in this. You cannot tell there's not sugar in this. This is fantastic. It's so good. It truly tastes like any regular chocolate brownie that I would crave anywhere at any time. I will definitely keep this one. I'm going to make this recipe over and over again. I know that I am. If you wanted, you could do a little frosting. Have at it. Have like a little ganache chocolate frosting on top. Yum. I have a recipe for wonderful chocolate frosting, last cookbook, where I made my avocado brownies, and that frosting was killer. That would be great on this. But honestly, it's so moist, it doesn't even need frosting. It's like a perfectly delicious brownie. And the best part, I'm so glad that I added the walnuts. Really, really great. Nice crunch. It doesn't taste like zucchini at all, but I'm really glad to know that there's zucchini in it. You guys try this recipe, and if you try it, please take a photo, pop it into our Facebook group, Plant-Based Made Easy. We are almost 2,000 people from all over the world. The thing that makes me most excited about our group is that it's people from all over the world, from all walks of life, really trying plant-based at every angle. Some people are still, you know, vegetarian. We have a lot of vegetarians in the group. Some people still eat meat and animal products, but they like incorporating plant-based meals into their daily diet. And then there's a lot of us that are plant-based and trying to go plant-based and really committed to that. And we're all helping each other. I absolutely love to see people asking questions and people jumping in and saying, hey, this is what I do, or this is what I like, and this is my favorite substitute for that ingredient, or whatever. It's really cool. So join our community. It's totally free. There's the Facebook group. You guys can click on it, I think, right here. We're going to put a little link. No, you know where it is. It's Chef Daniela Moftano, Plant-Based Made Easy Facebook group. I'm so glad to be here with you guys. What a great week. Thank you for being here. Angie, Natalie, Penny, Diane, April, Cindy, all of you. Angie says, we are sneaking ahead in your book and making the curry popcorn mix tonight for family movie night. Absolutely. Do it. You're going to love it. Maybe have a brownie while you're at it. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Please get some rest. Love yourselves. Love your family. Keep everyone that you love close. And I will see you next week. Next week, we're going to be starting the week off with a really, really wonderful breakfast. I'm making a cinnamon roll smoothie, not to be missed. So please come back on Monday for that, you guys. And we use a different camera today. I don't know if you could tell. Let me know if you like this camera or not. And also, I'm thinking about going down and actually doing Plant-Based Made Easy, this show, maybe 2 days a week instead of 5 days a week. So curious to know your thoughts on that. If you have any, I love you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Peace.